Finished 3-1 today, Arbour Park. Great result, Scott. Great response to what happened here last year. I'm sure you'll quickly tell us about that again. What did you think of the game and the performances from the team today?
Yeah, I thought it was a real dogged performance. I don't think it was a spectacle by any stretch of the imagination. They're obviously previously unbeaten side coming here. I think they've won 4 and drawn 5, so we knew it was going to be tough. They've got some really good players. Really nice manager. He's one of the nicest blokes you could wish to meet. So it's one of those, it's not personal, but for me it was a little bit of a match that I sort of earmarked because of the result last season, obviously losing 5-2, a real low day in my management career, I guess. So it's nice probably to see how far we've come in the space of just over a year. But yeah, like you say, it's a great win. I never imagined that when it got back to 1-1 that we would go on and win 3-1. I thought it was going to be on a knife edge and it might fizzle out and be a draw. They had a bit of momentum at that time. So I think the character that we showed and the work rate, the resilience is just phenomenal. So credit to the boys as well. Obviously they've worked on some set pieces and they paid dividends today. So overall really good result.
And yeah, if I was to mention a brace of goals, we'd normally be talking about Slough or maybe Sam, but it was actually Dan Bayliss for the brace today from those set pieces, as you said. Again, it's just proving what an asset he is in terms of goal scoring as well as defending.
Yeah, I think in terms of longevity being at the football club, I've seen him longer than any of the other sort of defenders or centre-halves, and for me he's the best in the league. I genuinely feel that. I think he's that good, left-footed as well, but I'm probably judging it on what he does on the pitch, what he does off the pitch in terms of a character in the change room as well. So he's been absolutely brilliant since the day that he walked in, and then obviously in a big game like today, was it 7th versus 3rd or 4th? He's chipped in with 2 goals. He hasn't got a goal bonus. He's just asked me if he could have one. So yeah, jokingly he's asked for that. So no, listen, Bayliss is Bayliss, but you've got to look at the delivery as well. I think Gibbs' delivery has been exceptional all season. So yeah, goals are coming from all over the place. I'm sure you'll ask me about it in a minute as well, but I'm so happy for Sam Evans as well, because he's had a bit of a tricky start to the season with being injured throughout obviously the beginning of the season when the league campaign kicked off, and he was desperate for that goal, and you can see the joy and the elation in his face. So he just got a round of applause in there as well, along with Dan Bayliss. I thought he was superb. So for them two to get 3 of the goals, yeah, it's a great day.
You beat me to it, but I will ask you about obviously Francis and Slough. Didn't have probably the days they were hoping for. They were a bit quiet, but they did add something to the side. But now with Sam obviously scoring, does that kind of add a bit of a tricky situation for yourself in terms of who starts next?
Yeah, you've got Quex as well, who's obviously scored 2 last weekend. He's got COVID, so he wasn't available. Sam's come on and scored. Slavvy's Slavy. He's obviously a focal point for us, and he retains the ball really well. Francis showed some glimpses of the reason why we signed him. David Ogbonna showed it yet again with his work rate and tenacity. So yeah, there's so many options. Gary Abasogan got man of the match in the last game he started, so how unlucky is he? It's really difficult at the moment. I'm probably greedy and a little bit selfish that I love having those attacking options, because ultimately I want to go and outscore teams. I don't want to try and win a game 1-0 and be really sort of compact and hard to beat. I'd rather go and outscore. That's the way that it's always been, I think, since I've taken over, like front foot, free flowing, get the ball forward with hopefully quality and let the front men do what they do. So I think you can see that in the amount of goals we scored last season. We obviously conceded too many, but this season we look like we've shored it up a little bit at the back. We're less than a goal a game, which is yeah, it's brilliant. So it gives you a chance when you've got the players up the top that can go and hurt teams. So yeah, so many positives from today. I thought everyone put in a real good performance. I didn't think there was sort of a standout performer throughout the whole 90 minutes. I thought it was a collective. Everyone was just workmanlike, honest, hard-working, and that's obviously how we want the teams to be.
And just to briefly speak about a departure that's happened in the last 48 hours as well. Of course, we've seen Matt Lynch, who I'm sure everyone knows and is very fond of. He's departed the club. Just wanted to ask you a little bit more about how the exits come about and what you want to say regarding Lynch.
Yeah, listen, everyone loves Lynch, including myself. I've played over 200 games with him, so it's not an easy decision. I felt like I had a duty to the boys that have began this season, obviously Henry, Leon, Gilbs, Dan Roth, and they've got their whole careers ahead of them. So it's one of them, they've probably got 10 more years of playing football, and I said to Lenchy that it's going to be difficult to get back in. I want it to be consistent with the lads that we've got, and they're the future of the club. I think when you obviously get to your sort of early 30s, I didn't want to sort of derail Leon, Henry or Gilbs' career at the moment. So we had an honest and frank conversation. And like I said in the statement, Lenchi said he wanted to stay and fight for his place, but Lenchi's not a sub. He's certainly not a sub. He needs to go and play. He wants to play. He feels like he should play. So it was really tough. And I think yesterday was probably, other than Tonbridge last year, the hardest day of my management career. Really, really difficult. So many messages from different people, positive and negative, from the club, whether it be fans, all sorts. My phone was pinging off and it was mentally draining, I'll be honest. So I went to bed earlier last night than I've ever been to bed. So I just turned my phone off and thought, you know what, I've got a game to focus on. I've got a team to look after. But yeah, listen, it was really, really difficult. It was, of course. And I think what comes with Lenchi is his mum and dad as well, who are fantastic people. It wasn't a decision that was made overnight. It's sort of been in the pipeline for a while, and I'm not going to allude to other reasons as to why we did it. The footballing reasons were enough. So yeah, Lenchi's Lenchi. He's a great person, great player, but we're kind of heading in a different direction. Whether I get it right or get it wrong, who knows? But I had to be bold enough and brave enough with Yella as well. We spoke through it and make that decision. So yeah, at the moment, probably a little bit Marmite in terms of how people perceive me, but I'll never make a decision that would hinder the club. I always think through what I think is best, because ultimately I want the club to succeed. I want to succeed and I want the boys to be successful. So yeah, it's not a decision that was easy.
And just finally then, attention returns back again to the FA Cup. Seems to be chopping and changing every week at the moment. Woking away, it's a fairly close tie with the National League side, not quite having the best start to their season. What are your thoughts looking into that one already? Because on paper it seems it's a very winnable game potentially.
Football's on grass, Connor. No, listen, they'll be favourites. They would probably have hoped for a team in a league below, or even maybe 2 leagues below. We were hoping for that. We didn't get it. We've got a team away in the league above. I had exactly the same feeling as what I had when we went to Ebbsfleet last year. Probably a little bit of fear, a little bit of nerves. But I think that's a good thing, because we're not going to go there overconfident or cocky. The boys know that they have to be good to try and get a result. If that means that we have to try and go there and get a draw or try and win the game to bring them back here, maybe, who knows. But listen, we're confident without sort of being big-headed or thinking we're going to go there and make it a walk in the park. We know it's going to be a tough game. They're a full-time outfit, some really good players. I've watched them a few times already this week, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a great occasion for our lads to go and play, and I think it's a great occasion for our fans to turn up, and I hope we do go in big numbers. I think we can make it a really good away day. But yeah, listen, we've got nothing to lose. So yeah, it's one that excites me. It's one that we can win, but we have to play well. If we don't play well, we're not going to win the tie. So yeah, we'll see how we go, obviously, in the next week, see who's fit, and hopefully go there with a game plan as such to be successful.
Brilliant. Thank you, Scott. Congratulations on today's win, and we look forward to that FA Cup tie next Saturday.
Cheers, Scott. Thanks very much.